So I do want you to be aware that I am recording this class. What that means is that when the class is over, if you'd like, I can email you a copy of the class that you just attended. And you'll be able to hear your voice and my voice, et cetera. So any questions that might get asked during this and the answers that come with that, you'll be able to hear those as well, okay? All right, so let's get started again. We'll click on the online button here. That brings up our Setup Online Store window. It may look a little bit confusing, but it's actually pretty simple because each one of these is a field that I'm going to step you through. For instance, where it says existing website address, you put in your business's website address there. Really simple. Email address, this is not required. The email address that you're going to put here, if you put one in, is maybe your manager's address or maybe an info request or something like that, address or something like that. Basically, if somebody does, in fact, purchase a gift certificate online, or if they purchase a product online, or if they book an appointment online, then an email can be sent to whatever address you have put in here. The reason that it's optional is because there are other ways to get that information. For instance, if somebody books an appointment online, the appointment actually appears right on your appointment book, and it has its own unique online color, and it has the word web next to it. You'll see that later as we get going. Also, if somebody purchases a gift certificate or gift card online, if they purchase a gift certificate online, there's nothing you need to do. They can actually print out the gift certificate from home, and they can then walk into your shop and use it because your software is already aware of it. So they can print it out, walk right in and use it. There's nothing you need to do to make that happen. If they buy a gift card online, then your sales screen will actually notify you that an online purchase has just been made, and you can process that and ship out the card. And finally, same with retail. When they make a purchase of a product online, again, in your sales screen, there is an alert that pops up that lets you know that somebody has made a purchase of an online product. And then you can fill your box and ship it out to them because it includes their shipping label. So you can print that right out onto like an Avery label or something like that, or you could just copy it by hand. Next, we have terms and conditions. This is a blank white box when you first get the software or when you're first setting this up. You write anything you want in here. You simply highlight into the box and you start typing away. So depending on what you're using this for, if you're only using it for appointments online, for instance, then you may just address appointments online. But if you're using it for all three features, appointments, gift certificates, and retail, then you may want to address those the way I've done here. Next, we have our bottom message. Now, the bottom message is a tiny little line of text at the bottom of the front page of the online store, and it can say anything you want it to say. Again, this is a blank white box. You simply type in whatever you want it to say. I've seen it say things like, if you have any questions, please call, and then a telephone number, or if you have any questions, and then an email, or perhaps something like what we have here, Pro Solutions Software Inc., 2017, all rights reserved. Again, it's simply a little bottom line of text, and it will say whatever it is you want it to say. Next, the API login and API transaction key. These are not required if all you're doing is setting this up for appointments online, for the app or for the website. Again, these are only required if you are selling gift certificates or retail, because your API login and API transaction key are going to allow you to accept credit cards through your site or through the app. And the way that works is this. There is a company and a site called, here it is, Authorize.net. Authorize.net is not a credit card processing company. Authorize.net is a credit card gateway, and that's what we use. In other words, you can use any processing company you'd like. So don't worry about it. Certainly, we ask that you use our processor. We would like it if you did, but you don't have to. So you can go, in fact, with any credit card company you'd like, and you get what's called an online merchant ID. Now, there are two different types of merchant IDs. There's the online ID, and there is the brick and mortar ID. So you already have a brick and mortar ID if you accept credit cards in your business. However, if somebody were to make a purchase online, you need to be able to accept that credit card through your website. You cannot use a brick and mortar ID for that. So you go to your credit card company, you ask them for an online merchant ID, they'll give you one, and then you'll be able to go to Authorize.net and go to Getting Started and create an account for yourself. When you create your account, and you will be needing your online merchant ID to create that account, you will be assigned a login and transaction key, which then you can plug in here, and now your website or your app will be able to accept credit cards. Next, we have on the right-hand side here, main image, side banner image, and bottom banner image. You are in control of the images that appear on your storefront, and that will appear on your gift certificate for email and things like that. So these three images look something like this. Let me go ahead and open that page. So I've got this top banner image here. This is my main image, and this will also appear at the top of any gift certificates that are purchased, and receipts and things like that that people receive after they've made a purchase of a gift card, gift certificate, or a product. Also a side banner, and then finally a bottom banner. These will be anything you want them to be. So you could upload your logo, you could upload images, etc. We do recommend that you keep the proper specs so that they all line up properly and they use up the space properly, because this is specifically designed for a smartphone. That's why you have all of this, what we call wasted space on the left and right hand side. But again, these three are completely up to you. You upload what you'd like. And if you need the specs, you simply send an email to graphics, that's GRAPHICS, graphics at prosolutionssoftware.com, and they can respond with those specs. Now, the graphics department is at your disposal, and it is free of charge. So if you don't have banners, or you don't have, maybe you've got a logo, but it's a different, the wrong size or wrong shape or anything like that, it's not a problem at all. You can supply us with any artwork you'd like us to use, or none. You could say, hey, use your own artwork, and you can ask us then to create these banners for you. They'll create the banners, they will email them to you, and as long as you like them, you save them to your computer and you can upload them. If you don't like them, just tell graphics what changes you'd like made until the images are precisely the way you want them to look. Again, you can use our graphics department at absolutely no charge to you. Next, after you've uploaded your images, and you do that by pressing the upload button, and then you go through the process. You can browse to anywhere on your computer and upload the image. Please note that they must be 500K or smaller, and that if you're using an installed version of the software, they must be a GIF, a JPEG, a TXT, or a PNG. However, if you are using the cloud version of the software, they must be JPEG. For the cloud version, you can only upload JPEGs, okay? So again, everything that our graphics department may send you will be the store ready. Okay, so now we have come down here to our main color and our background color. The main color is this color that you see behind your buttons. Let's go back there. So this is that main color. I've chosen this light green here, and then my dark green for my background color. Anytime you choose your main color, make sure that it is going to have a stark contrast with your font color, because there are going to be words that you're going to be putting in here, and your customers need to be able to read them. We'll get to that in just a moment. But if there is no contrast, meaning if your main color is dark, then your font color should be light, like white or yellow or something like that. But if your main color is light, like I've chosen here, then you want your font color to be very dark, like a dark purple or a burgundy or a black or something like that. I prefer black, so that's what I've done here. In order to change a color, you simply click on the box. So we're going to go ahead and make a real change to our front page here. I'm going to click on Upload, and I'm going to choose Browse, and I'm going to go to somewhere else on my computer, and I'll go to wherever it is that I'm storing my artwork. Go to my website here, and go to my online store. And so now I'm going to make some changes here. I'm going to choose a new top banner, and I'm going to choose this here. There we go, and upload. Should take just a few seconds. 1, 2, 3, there it is, and I can close that. And then my side banner. I'm going to go away from the big foot that I've got there and browse, and I'm going to choose maybe this jumping woman here and upload. 1, 2, 3, there we go. As I said, it just takes a few seconds. And then my bottom banner as well. Perhaps I'll choose this one, open, and upload. So I've changed the look of my banners. So let's go ahead and take a look at what those look like after I press save here. Let's go back in and let's refresh my screen. Okay, so now I've got 3 different banners here, and they kind of conflict with what the colors I've chosen. So let's make some changes there as well. Let's change my main color to a very light blue. So I'm going to choose my light blue here, and if that's not light enough for you, we can go to Define Custom Colors, and we can actually lighten it up and add that, and then choose it. So you don't have to choose just the colors that are on the template. Then my background color, I'll go with a nice dark blue here. I'll go with that. In fact, I'll go with this one. There we go. And save these changes. Let's go back in and refresh. All right, starting to look a little better, but now these green buttons are really kind of not really fitting with my scheme here. So I'm going to jump all the way down here to the bottom where it says button colors. And I'm going to choose blue. So what I'm really trying to do here is make sure that my front page has a feel for it that looks more similar to my actual website, so that when a customer clicks on your website, they're viewing that, and you say something like, you have a button maybe that says, you know, visit our online store here, or click here to book appointments online, or something like that. It will have a look and feel more like your actual website. So now I've got a site that looks the way I want it to look, and we're going to continue on. Next is my font size. Now, the standard size is 3, and it already says 3 when you first open this up, and we recommend that you simply leave it at 3. If you want to increase your font size a little bit, maybe change it to a 4, but don't go any bigger than that, or you're going to start messing with the format. So again, 3 or 4 are really the only sizes that you should use, and it's already set at 3. Next, your font name. You can put any font you want in here for the words that you write within this system. And we recommend, again, that you use Arial. Arial is already put in there for you. You can change it. If you do change it, you simply write the name of the font that you want to use here. But it must be a font that is installed on your computer. And it must be a font that, hopefully anyway, that is very readable to your customers. And finally, you must have the exact font name. So look through your fonts if you want to change your font. Again, we recommend just leave it at Arial. That's what it comes with. And Arial is the most commonly used on the internet and very easy to read. Next, again, we have our font color. As I said, choose a font color that is going to contrast strictly with your main color. Chose a light main color, go with a dark font color. Chose a dark main color, go with a light main color. Font color, excuse me. Now I've got my hyperlinks. Throughout this, your customers will be able to go to different parts of the store using hyperlinks. And we'll see that in just a moment as well. And I've said I want my hyperlinks to be this dark blue. My previously visited link, so if somebody has already gone to one of the hyperlinks, it will show, in this case, I've chosen a dark burgundy, specifically to let them know that they've already visited it. And then the mouse over link color, when you bring your mouse over a hyperlink, whether they visited it before or not, it will change to this color while the mouse is over it. That way they know that they're about to activate that link. And then finally, my active hyperlink color, I'd like to just keep that the same color that I've chosen for my hyperlink color, because essentially it just tells you that's what link you're currently in. And then as we already discussed, our button color. So we're going to save all of this. Again, we can go to our page here, and let's say that one of your customers chose to book an appointment online. So here are some of the words that I was talking about. Notice they're black because that's what I chose for my font. So everything in here is black for the changeable words that you get to put in any way you want. And you'll notice that my hyperlinks are this dark blue that I chose. And if I bring my mouse over to a hyperlink, they will in fact turn pink like I chose. Notice also, I've already visited the home and the store, which is why they are burgundy. And my lost password is also something that I've already visited, and that's why it is burgundy. So that's all those colors mean to you. So let's go back here to my front page of my store here, and let's go back into the software. Okay, so we've created our front page of our store. But just by doing that, that does not mean that appointments online, gift certificates, or retail are available to you. You must click on these buttons to make them available and activate them. So we're going to say we want to set up our appointments online. So we click on appointments, and we are brought to this Setup Online Appointments window. Again, it may look a little bit confusing, but don't worry, because we're going to walk through the steps. First is the welcome screen message. So you write whatever you'd like here. And I've chosen to write something like this. Welcome to our online booking feature. If you have not yet registered, please click on the Create Your Free Account Now and assign yourself a username and password. If you have already created an account, please feel free to log right in. Kiva. Okay, well, let's take a look. So there it all is. This is what I wrote, and that's what your customers will see. And notice it ends with Kiva there. The reason I did that was because when I teach these classes, I like to show people that whatever it is you write, people are going to see immediately. So I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to change it to Mary and save. All right, let's take a look. Let's go back in here and let's refresh. And now it says Mary. So the point is, whatever you write in there, your customers are going to see immediately whenever they go to this page. And again, because it says create your free account here now, they can create their free account. When they do that, they get to assign themselves a username and password. If they already have an account with you in your Transcend software, then it will let them know they already have an account when they start filling in their info. You put in their name, put in their email address, et cetera. It might say, hey, we already found somebody with this name and email. Would you like to use that account? If they say yes, they can go right to setting up their username and password. If they don't have an account with you already, then when they fill in all of that information, let's take a look at it. When they fill in all of this information and they hit create account, not only will it allow them to create their account, and it will actually create it in your Transcend software, but of course, then they can also assign themselves a username and password. Let's go back here. Okay, so after we've written our welcome screen message, then we have our confirmation message. When your customers go through the process of booking themselves an appointment online, whether it's through the app or online in the website, this is one of the things that they may see when they have finished booking. And certainly will see it with the email that they get sent after they have finished booking an appointment online. So it might say something like what I've written here: congratulations, you have successfully booked your appointment online. And then we'll give them all of their appointment information, and we'll see that in just a moment. Next, the cancellation policy. Whatever your online cancellation policy is, you want to write that here. And then we come down here to show prices. Now, if this is blue with the plus sign, by the way, Mary, I'm just going to pause myself here for a moment. You'll notice that I speak very rapidly. I'm trying to cover a lot of information in a relatively short period of time. Please feel free to interrupt me with any questions at all that come up as we're going through this, because if you don't interrupt me, you're not going to have a chance to ask questions until the very end, because I just keep talking. Okay, so we've got our show prices here. If it is gray with an X, it won't show any of the prices of your services. And that may be fine for you, because you may already have like a menu of services on another page with your pricing and things like that. You may also have it so that your staff, for instance, may charge different prices for the same services. And if that's the case, we don't want to confuse anybody, so we'll just leave it gray with the X there, and it won't show the prices. And maybe in your welcome screen message, you have a note that says prices may vary based on the provider that's selected. If it is blue, then it will in fact show your default prices. And what do I mean by default? When you set up a service, you assign a price to it. Even if that price changes, you have a default price. And if you hit show prices, it will show your default prices. So I like to go gray, no prices. Then we have our hours in advance. What does that mean? Well, you can put any number you want in here, but this is the number of hours from the time that they're booking before they can see the first available appointment that they can choose. So I've selected a 1, which means that if somebody went to my site or their app at 9 a.m., then the very first appointment they would see, if it was available, would be 10 a.m. If I put a 2 in here and it was 9 a.m., then the first they would see would be 11 a.m. A 3 and it was 9 a.m., first they'd see would be noon, etc., as long as they're available. So I like to put in a 1 or a 2 in there or something like that, just so that somebody's who's booking at 9 a.m. is not going to be booking at 9:15 or 9:30. I want them to have a chance to book and come in, and I also want an opportunity for me to see the appointment. Finally, my max days out. This works the same way as hours in advance, except it's based on a total day. So, for instance, with a 0, somebody who goes to my site or uses the app today would actually be able to book for today. But if I put a 1 here, somebody using the app or the website today would only be able to book for appointments starting tomorrow or into the future. If I put a 2 here, it would be the day after tomorrow or into the future. So it's the number of days out. I like it at a 0. You put whatever you'd want there. Next is the cancellation policy. This is the number of hours that your customer must be outside of in order to unbook their own appointment online. So I've said within 48 hours, they can't. So if it was 47 hours away from their appointment or 12 hours away from their appointment, they wouldn't be able to unbook their appointment. But if it was, 3 days from now, 4 days from now, they would. I can change this. I might say, you know what, I really don't like the idea of people unbooking their appointment a couple of days before online. I want them to call me. So maybe I put a 480 here, which would mean that it would be 20 days. If they were within 20 days of their appointment, they would not be able to unbook their appointment online. They'd have to call you to do so. Or maybe 720 or something like that, or whatever it may be. 240 would be 10 days, of course, because 24 is 1 day. Next, we have our booking color. Again, just like all the other colors, you simply click on the box and choose whatever color you'd like, and then select OK. By doing that, anybody who books an appointment online, it will be this color. So even though you may have certain colors for your services, you may want a different color for an appointment online. That way it's very easy to see on your appointment book which appointments were actually booked through the website or through the app. Also, not only does it have your own unique booking color, but it also has the word web next to it. So it's very easy to see which appointments were actually booked online. And that's, of course, if you're just viewing your appointment book. You can always run a report that says, hey, I want to see every appointment that was booked online last night or the day before or whatever it may be. Only book on the is our next thing here. And we've got these options: hour, half hour, quarter hour, 10 minutes, and 5 minutes. If, let's say, that somebody was booking for Mary, they wanted to book an appointment with Mary, and you were available tomorrow, wide open. Your afternoon is wide open. You leave at 5, but from 12 to 5, you've got nothing scheduled. If you had it set at only book on the hour, and they were choosing for tomorrow with Mary, your morning's all booked up, but your afternoon's wide open, then it would show 12, 1, 2, 3, and 4 as your options. So they'd get 5 options. If you said on the half hour, they would get 12, 12:30, 1, 1:30, 2, etc. Again, on the quarter hour, now it's starting to get a little bit unwieldy: 12, 12:15, 12:30, 12:45, 1, 1:15, etc., all the way up to 5 o'clock. And then finally, not finally, but following that, 10-minute and 5-minute. Now, understand, with 5 minutes, if you've got 5 hours wide open, they would get 60 different options. So it can be a little bit unwieldy. I like on the hour or on the half hour, but it's entirely up to you. Some of our customers require these, and that's fine. That's why they're there. I choose the hour. Then we come over here to the right side. Select which operators, groups, and or services will be restricted from online scheduling. So all of these are your staff members, whether you have 2 staff members or 20 or 200, they'll all be listed here. And whatever staff members you put a check next to will not be able to be booked online. So customers will not be able to book an appointment online for anybody that has a check next to their name. Same thing goes with your groups. You currently in your software have groups and services set up probably. And you might say, look, I allow my facials and my hair and my laser and my massage and my nails and my waxing services to be booked online, but my Botox, my light facial, my micros, my skincare, my wet services, and my yoga classes cannot be booked online. It's entirely up to you. So whatever you check will not be able to be booked online by group. Then you may have a group like, let's say, massage that you do allow to be booked online. However, within that group, you may have certain massages that you don't want booked online. So under services, you can limit individual services from being booked online simply by putting a check next to them. Does all of that make sense to you?
Yes.
Excellent. Once you've put in your checks and you filled in all of this, you simply press save and exit. Save and exit. And now your customers will be able to start using appointments online. You've set it up. So if somebody goes to your appointments online, they can put in their username and password and log in. And what's going to happen here then is they're going to be able to choose a service or group. Choose a service group. So for instance, they may choose something like, let's go with nails. So customer has chosen nails, and after they choose nails, they'll be able to choose a specific service within that group. Let's say a French manicure. After choosing a particular service, they're given a list of your staff members that can provide that service. So let's go with Melinda here, and then they can choose the date that they're interested in. So we're in October here. I'll choose Wednesday, October 4th, and check available times. Now remember, I've set it for checking for the hours, and so it's only based on the hours now. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are available with Melinda. So let's go with 11 a.m. and continue to confirmation. So your customer now shows what they've selected. They can book another appointment. They can book the appointment, or they can book another appointment by choosing add another service to your cart, or they can hit start over. And by doing so, it'll wipe out what they've done, and they can start all over again. And notice my cancellation policy is listed here as well. I'm going to go ahead and say book appointment. And so the appointment has been booked. And let's take a look at the actual software now. Let's go into our appointment book, and let's go to tomorrow. And so here I am on, I chose the 4th. So here I am on Wednesday, October 4th, and let's go to nails. And there is my 11 o'clock for Bella for a French manicure with Melinda. So it booked very nicely, just as I said, and you'll notice it's got that unique color, and it has the word web next to it. So Miss Bella has successfully booked her appointment online. She also just received an email with all of that information that says something like, congratulations, you have successfully booked an appointment online, and it has your cancellation policy as well as what she actually booked. So that's the process there. Now I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to go to, I've got it in here. Let's go ahead and pull up my client app here. And I'm going to show you very quickly the steps that your customer would see if they were using the actual app. It's very similar, but they've already registered. When they get the app, they register. And by doing so, they don't have to then put in their username and password and all of that good stuff. They've already registered, so the software knows exactly who they are simply by using their phone. So if they choose book, then again, choose a group. This is what it would show up on their smartphone. When they click this with their finger, they'll be given a list of your groups. They choose the group that they want, whatever it is, and then they can click on choose a service. They choose whatever service they want, and then they can choose a specific provider of services, whoever it may be. Then they can choose a date. Again, when they click on choose date, a calendar will come up. They can move through the calendar months by using these arrows here. They can choose the date that they're interested in, and then they click on check times, and available times with that provider will appear for that date that they've selected. Then they can, by selecting continue, it'll show everything that they're about to do. They can book the appointment, add another service, or start over. If they click on book appointment, then they will get on their smartphone exactly what they would have received in the email, but they will also receive the email. And again, it will have the banner that you have successfully uploaded earlier. So this is just that information on their email, the service, the price, who they're seeing, the time and the date, etc. And that is the process that your customer would see when booking an appointment online. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Let's go ahead and get out of that. Let's go back to our online store. Okay, so we've successfully set up appointments online, and it's working just fine. Next, we would perhaps want to set up our gift cards or gift certificates. And we do that by clicking on the gift cards button, and it brings up this little window here. There's much less to fill in here. If you have gift certificate packages, they'll be listed here, and you can choose which ones you want to be able to sell online. If you don't have any packages, don't worry about it. There won't be anything there. All you need to really concern yourself with is the shipping method. Now, I've got 3 already set up: email, FedEx overnight, and USPS first class for card. So if a customer chooses email when they go through the process, then they will receive the gift certificate via email that they can print out from home, or they can even forward to their wife or their mother or their sister, whatever it may be. So that person then they can print it out and walk into your shop and use it. So how do we create these shipping methods? Well, let me get rid of them first. Email and delete, FedEx overnight and delete, and USPS first class for card and delete, and then save my changes. So when you actually first go in here, it might look something like this. It's all blank, and there's no shipping methods. So how do we create one? We simply give it a name, like for instance where it says shipping method here. I'm just going to type in email. And then give it a shipping charge. For an email, I'm going to say there's no charge, and add. Your shipping charge has been added. Okay, and there it is. It's available. So we'll do the same thing, FedEx overnight. And my shipping charge, $15 perhaps, and add. And now that exists as well. There they are. And then finally, USPS first class for card. And maybe $4 for something like that. Again, whatever you want, because you can also include handling charges, not just the actual cost of the stamp. And add. And now we can save all of our changes, and we're done. We've now set up our gift cards or gift certificates as long as you have an API login or transaction key. So your client then may decide that they would like to purchase a gift card or gift certificate. Let me make that a little bit bigger so you can see. And they can now go through this process. Recipient first name, put in my wife and her last name, enter the card, the amount that this is going to be for, say $100. And if I had gift packages available, then notice it says enter amount or gift package. So they can choose a gift package rather than putting an amount if you have any. I don't. So mine says 100, and my personal message. Congratulations on being married to me. And then They can choose ship to myself, ship it to a recipient, or print it out today. I'm going to select ship to myself, and now I can choose my shipping terms: email, FedEx overnight, or USPS first class for card. And I'm going to say email and continue. It shows the information here: who is the recipient, who's getting the card, add another certificate to my order, or proceed. Now I can put in my credit card information here. If I was getting a card, for instance, then I may want to ship to a different address and put in the address here. Or if it's the same address, I can just leave that blank, and whatever information I put in here is what it's going to use. So I fill all of this information in, and I hit process. As long as they have a valid credit card that they've put in, they will receive a receipt, and they will receive the email with the gift certificate that they can now forward or they can print out, whatever it may be. So it's really very simple there. Now, what if they had chosen, though, like USPS first class for card or FedEx overnight, and they chose please ship to a different address? They put in the address they want, and they hit process, of course, after all of this has been filled out. And the same process, they receive an email with a receipt. And on your end, in your sales screen, an alert would have popped up that lets you know that an online purchase has been made. If they chose email, that won't pop up. There's nothing you need to do. But if they chose to ship it, then in fact, an alert would pop up. You can click on that. Now, they've already paid for it online, so you don't have to process a payment. It just shows you all of the information. You can now take one of your gift cards out, swipe that card, and it will associate the information that they filled out with that card. And it will give you a mailing label that you can either copy by hand or print out onto an Avery label. Put that into a box, ship it out, and off it goes. And they have already made the purchase online. So next, we have our retail. Let's get out of here. Let's go back to our store. And let's choose, for instance, products. So here we've got retail. And the first thing we can do, we don't have to, but the first thing we can do is put in the SKU numbers of our products that we want to have as featured items. So we could just have a single item, or we could have up to 10. I've chosen 6. So we put in our featured item SKU numbers and our shipping per item. In this case, I've said $2.50, which means if they buy one product, it's going to add $2.50 to their order. If, however, they bought 3 products, it would add $7.50 to their order. Again, it's a shipping per item charge. After we've put in our SKU numbers for our featured items and we've put in our shipping per item, then where it says, notice it says select which items will be restricted from online retail. Your manufacturers will all be listed here. And any manufacturer that you put a check next to, their products will not be able to be sold online. And under categories, any category that you have a check next to will not be able to be sold online. Now, you may have a category or manufacturer whose products you allow to be sold online, but maybe not all of them. So, for instance, I've said my crew products can be sold online, but then I can go to my crew manufacturer and I can put a check next to individual products that cannot be sold online. A great example of why you might do that is this. L'Oreal. L'Oreal allows you to sell their products in stores like Rite Aid and Walgreens and Kmart and Walmart, etc. But they have certain products like their Kerastase line that can only be sold in store and cannot be sold online, cannot be sold in any other places like for diversion purposes. So you could perhaps, maybe you have L'Oreal as one of your manufacturers, and much of your L'Oreal products will in fact be sold online perhaps. But you can check off, for instance, all of the Kerastase products, and they would not be able to be available for sale online. So once you've filled all of this in and you press save, then you can exit out. Again, the retail online is not going to work if you don't have an API login and transaction key. So we'll save that, and let's take a look. So I've got my 6 products. These are my featured products. Now, don't get me wrong. Your customers could say, I want to look at all of your shampoos or all of your finishers or all of your conditioners. These are the categories that I allow to be sold online. And the manufacturers that I allow to be sold online. They can click on Paul Mitchell and look at all of your Paul Mitchell products, or Crew and look at all of your Crew products that are allowed to be sold online. Or they can simply choose a product, like, for instance, my TG Cat Root Boost here, 8 ounce for $16. And notice, by the way, that these products have pictures associated with them as well. And I'll get to that in just a moment. So I've got my product status in stock. If you don't have any left, so they're not in stock anymore, it would say out of stock and your customer would not be able to purchase it. They would have to wait for it to be in stock. Also, I can zoom in on it to see it a little bit better. So in stock, it's made by TG, my category is a finisher, and my description. This product is for root coloring treatments and not to be used on oily hair, Cindy. Again, I put that in just like I could change it to Mary. The point is that whatever you write in the description is going to be available for your customers to see online instantly. Now they can add it to the cart, so they click Add to Cart, and they can continue shopping and add other things, or they could go to checkout, put in their credit card information, or have it shipped somewhere else, and then proceed to confirmation. By doing that, in this case, they cannot print out a product, of course. So in your software, in your point of sale, an alert will pop up letting you know that an online purchase of products has just been made. When you click on that alert, you can print out the shipping label, grab the product, stick it into a box, and ship it out to them, however many products they've purchased. And that's all the process is. So let's take a look at what that might look like in the online store, in the app, because you just looked at the online store on the website. But yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Mary, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go here to a shop. And again, if your customer went to your app and they clicked on shop, then again, they would see your featured products, or they could go to your categories or your manufacturers, and they can choose a product, add it to the cart, for instance, and they can go to checkout now. They can fill in all of their credit card information, or they could ship to a different address, not or, but and all of the information then will be shown here before they actually go through the process. They can proceed with purchase, or they can continue shopping, or they can empty their cart. If they proceed with the purchase, their card will be charged, and they will get an authorization code, they'll be shown, and they will receive an email with all of the information, including exactly what it is they purchased. And of course, on your end, you get that alert, and you can put the product into a box and ship it out to them. Okay? So that's the process on the app itself. So let's take a little bit of a look here at retail again. Remember I said you can have images and there's a description? Well, that's in your actual inventory. Every product that you have in here has a button that says Upload Image. So I can actually upload an image of a product just like I did for my banners and things like that. Again, same rules apply, 500K or smaller. If you're using the installed version, a GIF, a JPEG, a TXT, or a PNG. If you're using the cloud, a JPEG only. And you might say, well, where am I getting the images? Well, you could certainly take a picture of a product right on your shelf and save it to your computer and then upload it. Or you could do something like this. Let's go with Paul Mitchell Awapui shampoo. So I'm going to say Paul Mitchell Awapui shampoo, which you see I've already done, and go to images right through my Google here. And I can find the image of the actual picture that I want to use and say, maybe this is the one I'm talking about. Here's my Awapui. Well, this is a moisturizer lather shampoo, and it's a repair. Maybe this is the one you're talking about. So I can right-click on it and save the image to my computer. Well, as long as I've done that, I can now upload it. Unless it's too big or, whatever it may be, then you can just change its size or something like that, or you could send it to us and we can do it for you through the graphics department. But it's really very simple. You could even upload an image in Paint if you don't have something like Photoshop or something, and reduce its size and save it if you needed to. But if it's less than 500K and it's a JPEG, save it and then upload it right to your software. So also we have this long product description for online. And this is where you can write whatever you want. So I've got the Just an All-in-One shampoo, allows you to use a single product every other day to reduce the detergent impact on damaged hair. And then I could put in the name if I wanted to, like I did earlier. I could put Mary here so that you could see that whatever your customer clicks on, they'll actually see those actual words. That's how you upload images. That's how you change descriptions for online, etc. Any questions on that before we continue?
No.
Okay. Finally, you might say, okay, well, that's all well and good, and I do want to be able to sell appointments, do appointments online, but my appointments, my services have some weird names. Some of them have weird names. Let's go here with our let's go with hair here, and let's take a look at, I've got this, let's find one that's a little bit strange if I can. Okay, so I've got shellac.man.w/Remo. Your clients may have no idea what that means, okay? So in your software, you can actually change the name of the service for the online booking. So this will be the name when you're doing it in-house, and that's what will show up on your receipt, and that's fine. And maybe you needed to abbreviate it because on a receipt, you're using a much smaller name. But online, you might want them to see shellac manicure with removal, blah, 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 whatever it may be. So how do we change the name for online so that your customers can view something like that? Well, if you go into where you set up your services and you choose a particular group and then choose a particular service, whatever it may be, there's my shellac manicure, then I can go to my location here, and right here where it says service name for online scheduling, I can then type in the full name that I want it to say, so that when my customers go online to book an appointment, they will see this full name rather than what you've already created for the name in-house. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And you save that and exit out, and then that's what they're going to see from that point forward. Mary, you haven't had very many questions, and we're actually done with our class. Now, we've gone through the entire store for setup. We've talked a little bit about the app. Do you have any questions for me whatsoever on anything that I've shown you?
Not that I know of right now.
Okay. Do you have any questions on maybe something I didn't show you that you were hoping I would?
No.
Okay. That's fine. My last question then is, would you like this class emailed to you?
Yes. The only thing, though, is I never actually put an email when I did it.
That's fine. That's fine. You can just tell me your email now, or you can type it into the chat.
I'll just type it because it'll be easier.
Okay. And Forst. Okay, I've got it, and I am going to email this out to you probably within the hour.
Okay. Because I did take notes, but God forbid I forgot to write something down at least then.
Well, you'll be able to watch it again over and over again at your convenience, and you could always even have other staff members watch it as well, because I'm going to email you a link to a YouTube video in about an hour, and you'll be able to watch it at your convenience.
Okay.
All right, you have a wonderful day, and thank you again for taking the time to spend with me today, because the people who know the most about their software are the people who end up liking it the best. So I really do appreciate that you took time out of your busy day. Have a great day, Mary.
You too.
Bye-bye.